It's always a show with me, right? What's going on? If you're new here, my name is Stormie Calder. I'm a high performance coach, a shaman, a magical, mystical worker. And in this video, I'm going to take you guys into a deeper dive through the ascension themes for April. I already shot a video. I shot 2 videos. Go watch them. They're incredible. And over the last few days, I've been really digesting more and more and more about what Spirit's been putting me through etherically. And I am just coming to you as Stormie with the digested download for what we are all going through. Many different layers of consciousness, and I'm going to try to make that as clear both practically and spiritually for you in this video as I can, because April's a power hitter of a month, like in an insane way. And I've actually never experienced such drastic magic change and death magic in my life all at one time. So I'm going to do my best to cover all of it, at least just very briefly. Now, before we jump in, I want to tell you a little bit about my program, the Source Code Framework, which is my monthly membership program. I'll go into it a little bit more at the end of the stream for those of you that are interested in learning more and enrolling and diving deeply with me. But essentially, I'm going to be teaching, it's a mystery school, okay? But it's a shamanic mystery school. The way most people teach mystery schools are they stick to cosmic knowledge. My magic is split 50-50. The way that I work my magic and the way that I work my light and the way that I keep darkness at bay is a split 50-50 between cosmic magic and shamanic magic, which is not to be confused with witchcraft, but is earthly magic, arcane magic. And I understand both worlds very, very well. And as a human, actually, both are a complete necessity. I had the comments turned on and now I'm like, maybe I should have turned them off. I'm not going to read them, you guys. But lots of love. Thank you for joining me. My name is Stormie. Okay, so even just diving in a little bit to arcane magic is really the category I would place all of this mystery school business in. And the reason why I said not to be confused with witchcraft is because so many people think that witchcraft is a way of receiving magic, but witchcraft is actually very forceful. And it's dark magic. It's pulling and manipulating and binding. And the reason why my guides always ask me why they said it's not to be confused with witchcraft is because magic and witchcraft are different. Witchcraft is what's called black hat tricks, as opposed to white hat tricks. It's stealing essence in order to create, which is a form of death magic, which in my program, the Source Code, in the monthly membership, I will be going into this in depth because we need to understand what's good and what's not magically, where you want to get your energy involved in and what you want to keep your energy out of that would actually cause you and everyone you know significant harm. These are so funny. Oh my gosh, turn the comments off. How do I do that? I'm gonna have to deal with this now. Anyway, lots of love to those of you coming in. Subscribe, by the way, because I see a bunch of you are new. Subscribe. Go find the button somewhere. Come give me some love. Okay, I'll go into this in a sec. This is why I don't live stream all the time, because it's so distracting. Thank you, you guys. Okay, so let's jump right into ongoing April themes. Whenever you see or receive this video, regardless of if it is in April or not, we'll give you the messaging that you need. So if you're led to this video, stay here and be with me because there's going to be a message for you. Now, I need to ground my energy because I forget when I live stream, I can feel the energy coming in. It's a different level of attention. It makes me feel scattered. That's how sensitive I am to energy. Okay. What's mine is mine. What's yours is yours. I'm going to continue my stream and not be disrupted by the energy. Okay. Woo! It's like Okay, so for you guys that know me, that are like watching me in the middle of this, like it's like a jolt. It's like it's a really strong Kundalini energy when you receive attention, and then you have to figure out how to move it and translate it and work with it without losing your center. All right, so theme number 1, we are in the middle of a big death and rebirth cycle. I'm gonna say the things that other people won't say to you guys, because I know everybody that's channeling online, like everybody that's in the light, like takes the light, like, I'm gonna be so light. I'm gonna be so light. We're just gonna skip all the trash that's back. I'm just gonna be so light. And it's, you know, I just don't, I mean, it's fine, but I just don't find it to be the most constructive. Me personally, my guidance teams are so truthful with me and for me. They cut straight through things and they call things as they are, with the deepest, darkest language, so that I can actually understand like what seas I'm walking through and parting within myself and my own consciousness. And that is what we are in right now, okay? So everyone can go on their little, I don't know, channels and be like, oh my God, it's so fun. We're just stepping into spring and like everybody's gonna be good. Watch my last video, but we are in the middle of Judgment Day, cosmically, and on the earth. It's not as easy as just like chasing like through the spring. There's actually, we are all, every human, and cosmically as well, all of the cosmic beings are in judgment positions where they are being judged for all previous past actions. Now, I don't know if this is because we just we're in the process of switching out of the Kali Yuga, for those of you that follow yogic practices. And I'm actually, and you might want to do this, I think it's on my list of things practically, but I have to like, just because of the amount of spiritual energy that has been released, we're all under contract with God or with Satan, depending on where you're aligned, to renegotiate yourself and renegotiate your mission, spiritually or in dark work, right? Like it's just is what it is. And by dark work, I just mean eternal death. It's just called purgatory. Like, just like eternal death. You never get the rebirth process of that cycle. Anyway, start doing some reading, because cosmic law is renegotiating everything. So like, I'm just reacclimating myself with all of my texts. So I've got the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Bhagavad Gita, the Tibetan Book of the Living and the Dying. This is amazing. The Mahabharata. I started my awakening journey with the Bhagavad Gita, and this is definitely my favorite. I'm revisiting. I'm saying, man, it's a little, like, it always feels a little scattered when I live stream. Next time I'll pre-record it. I wanted to try. Okay, so we're in the middle of a really big, I will call it a death and rebirth cycle. Depending on who you hear from, who's channeling, who's reading energy, you're gonna hear a lot more on the rebirth side. I'm gonna talk about the death side because nobody's covering it. Nobody's going to cover it. It's not sexy, and none of them wanna deal with their PR teams after they talk about it. But the truth is, I'm as authentic as they get, and I don't care because it needs to be spoken about. And because death is part of life, and death needs to be respected and revered and loved through the process. It is highly reverent. It's a highly reverent aspect of the process. And when we skip the death cycle, we skip what it is to confront all of ourselves, whether it's like our human behavioral patterns or cosmic identity with ourselves and our higher self, our soul, and actually make a change. You can't actually make a change if you can't actually see what the fucking problem is. What I find way too often in spiritual everything, online, everywhere, everyone I know, is that like, it's just like, nobody's willing to confront it. And I'm often shoved in the shadows in one way or another, or like I have a lot of rejection wounding because people just don't want to hear the truth. They just don't, unless you're here and you're listening and tap a thumbs up, give the video a like and be here for it. But there are far less people that are willing to hear the truth, and there are those that want to run and hide back under the covers and say there are no monsters, there are no monsters. I will just live in fear perpetually for the rest of my life. Fear of what? Who knows? Fear of their mother, fear of their father, fear of God, fear of the government, fear of the IRS. I don't know, just fear. I have a big thing I say to fear. I say, fuck off, fear. I don't have time for you. I'm one of the few people that has very little fear. When I do have fear, I just confront it. Also, this was my guardian today for the day that came through. This is a flint stone, and obviously it's an arrowhead, so it is a weapon to cut and detach energetically from things that are no longer in service. And it also helps to ground etheric vision into concrete world, because the flint is the stone that is used to create tools to eat with, to hunt, to create fire. Like, this is the tool energetically. This is the crystal, the mineral that manifests vision into reality through arcane magic. What's arcane magic? The elements. I am a very fun shaman to work with. I will teach you the shamanic things in my program, The Source Code, which is my monthly membership. I think I forgot to mention there's a link in the description below. You can go check that out, read the landing page, email me if you have any questions, or want me to hold space for you to enroll and sign up, which I will do energetically and help co-create you coming into the program. Who are all of these people? Who are you guys? I'm so here for this. Give me all of the attention. That's what I love about vertical live streaming, is it gets pumped out to so many more people. Anyway, welcome. Okay, so death and rebirth. Let me dive in a little bit deeper. I've got 4 themes in total, so stick with me for that, and then I've got some practical themes for you. Rebirth. I would love to just talk about the rebirth, but it's just not where the energetics are right now. We have to focus on what is leaving. Otherwise, you're going to recreate it in the rebirth process. So consider yourself a phoenix. Those of you that resonate with me or my material, I am the eternal phoenix. That is my elemental energy. And when you're a phoenix, as in, like, when you're constantly rebirthing yourself, when you are constantly reorganizing your experience, when you are constantly resolving karma and looking to create something new, live the life of your dreams, we often, by mistake, recreate the same bad habits in the next cycle. And we can't get out. Why does that happen? Welcome to Arcane Magic. Okay. It happens because we don't fully release and be in the death process. Not from the position of death magic is black magic, but from the position of the love and the respect and the reverence for the death process. Death always happens in the mind first. Anyone that actually physically dies are pronounced dead when the mind fully and completely dies. And the more that I'm reading into this and channeling on it, and honestly, like, my life right now is the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Like, that's all I'm just, between this and the other one's coming. I'll get it in a couple days. And it's really understanding the mental death process, what it is to process an ego death. And if you don't completely process that ego death, if you only process 20% of it and you release some of it, but you're not willing to really confront everything that hurts, you will take it into the next cycle. And, like, that's fine for those of you that enjoy repeating the same shit over and over and over again. And any phoenix will do this. Any elemental will do this. Any shaman will do this, until you get to a point where I'm really sharing wisdom right now that not many of you will actually be able to pick up. But it's here for those that will and that need to. The wisdom is let it die. Whatever needs to die, needs to die. And in order for it to die, you have to be able to confront it mentally. Mentally, mostly. I'd say out of all of my processes of shadow work, the emotional stuff is pretty easy. And this will shift from person to person, depending on what your childhood trauma was and what your soul trauma is and how much PTSD you have across the multidimensional realities, because that's very real. But ultimately, the mind creates the construct for the emotions. The emotions generally are either following your mental behavioral patterns, which is the program, the source code, the matrix code, your source code, which might need to be rewritten, likely, that fires and wires how you should feel on a daily basis, and which memories are emotionally resurfacing out of your heart space that remind you of events and points in your life that need to die, that you're rehearsing in the base of your subconscious mind because you don't know if you should keep those aspects of yourself alive. So sometimes we'll subconsciously just like move through our world and just work through some of it, tie up some of it through random interactions with humans or what have you, just karmic patterns. Most of the time we're carrying at least 80%. And those of us that are really great, a lot of you will be really great at the more Phoenix work, where we're great at shifting into the new identity. And then when we get to the new identity and we build our little world, we build our new businesses, we build our new identity, we get into new relationships. 6 months later, we're like, what the fuck happened here? Like, it's the same shit over and over again. It's just fucking Groundhog's Day. How did it chase me into the new identity? Here's the truth. All of these things have one thing in common. It's you. It's you. It's you. And I'm not saying you're the problem. I'm saying you're the solution. There's a lot of patience and grace in reliving all of these cycles through. And when we close out a big cycle, which I've been doing every like 3 days, it's been driving me crazy. That's what my guides have me on, a really fast ascension process right now. So it's like, okay, solved a big problem. And then something else opens up and I'm like, shit, I mean, I have to go through it this way, because how else are you going to go through it? Like, you just have to go through it. But it's just like, oh my gosh, let me just focus on the death cycle so that what needs to be released can be fully honored and released. I'm obviously not going to go into that in detail in this video, but those of you that need to know this will know this. We'll pick it up. Okay? Reverence and respect for death. What do most people do with death energy? And I'm talking in energetics, okay? The death energy is anything that you're ready to release, whether it's behaviorals, whether it's people, substances, ways of being, ways of thinking, I don't know, any pattern that's ready to be released. Most people just kind of discard it. They discard death and then they run. They sprint in the other direction. I don't like that. Get it out of here. I'm going to go do this. And it's like, death is not to be discarded. It's like discarding a child. Like death, like if you're working with death, which is any part of yourself that needs to be completely released and let go, you need to love that just as much as a newborn child, just as much as an elderly person that is on their deathbed, that's ready to go. Like, just as much as like, it requires the most amount of love to release a part of yourself and a part of your psyche as it does to create something new. Our society discards and offers no value and no honor for that which has made you, literally and figuratively and cosmically. This is happening at the much higher guidance level, and I've been training my guides. I'm like, why are you not working with death? Like, what is your problem with it? And it's because even cosmically, they're all trying to run from it, because all of the shadows are being exposed right now across the universe, across the multiverse, and nobody wants to see it. And you know what? The highest God is just like, I don't care if you want to see it. It's time to move. like they're showing me the God. There are many different gods. I will be going into it in my program to educate on arcane magic and how it works throughout the multiverse. But one of them is a turtle. Okay, the father god is a turtle, and and he has this whole home on his back. And he just like, they just showed me him just like, and there's there are many turtles. And he just uprooted and he's like, I don't really care if you have an opinion. Like, we're moving now. We're creating a new home. We're reoriented to a different direction. We have places to go. That's what Papa Bear is saying. And Papa Bear, I mean God, Father God. I'm gonna bring that down to this universe with the sun God, which is the masculine of this universe as well. Should I do that now? Yeah, let's do that now. That was my theme 4, but I will make it theme 2. Is pray for the guardians of the realm, the guardians of the threshold, to see clearly through illusion and to choose peace. So the turtles always choose peace. Those divine masculine guardians always choose peace, and they are so gentle. They also like completely refuse any war. They just don't. It's not that they don't care, but they don't care. They're just like so beyond it that they're just like, oh, the kids are fighting again. Like that's kind of like that's how that version of God constructs reality. Now, that's beyond our current universe. Our current universe, I'm going to tell you about the dynamics between our 2 main God sources, and that we do need to pray for them. And they've both asked me for prayers because they're having a lot of trouble guiding us because they can't see clearly right now because the higher gods just picked up the home and fucking moved it. And all the gods below them are just like, what is going on? And they're having trouble guiding. And when they have trouble guiding, they often choose war when they mean or wanted to choose peace, but they can't see and they need help. And they're very, very stubborn. Any of you that channel God as a God source, regardless of what God it is, they are very stubborn. Very, very stubborn. It's part of the God complex. They have to be stubborn because they're in a position of creating just about everything underneath them and managing it, just like a king or a queen in a kingdom. There's a lot of responsibility with that. And they have to be able to maintain that pole of awareness where they don't step out of their center. And sometimes that means their egos are pretty effing big. It doesn't mean they can't be wrangled with or understood, or that you couldn't be understood by them. It just means that they're more authoritative, as any god would be. The turtle gods are different because they're authoritative. They're authoritative in a different way. They don't have to like flex their ego. They just pick up their home and move it. they're like, bitch, we're cleaning house. Like, I don't really, okay. Oh, I made you upset. Whatever. Like, okay, so pray for the guardians of the thresholds to see through illusion and to see clearly, to be able to choose peace. Because when they choose peace, they can help us to choose peace. We're at a really large crossroads right now. Energetically, mentally, and physically, which is like, what do you want to choose, war or peace? You're in a death cycle. Are you going to choose to avoid it and just try to skim out into your ascension on the higher realms of it? Like you're just going to die at a higher level. It's going to be more painful. When you die at higher ascension, the fall is a greater fall, and it does hurt more, much. The benefit of being in a slower human consciousness is when you fall, you're just like, let me get back up. Like, let me get back up and do my thing. I'm just human. When you fall at the God self level, and everyone has a God self, whether or not it's accessed is a whole other part of this, equation, the fall hurts a lot because it destroys everything that you've become. Not just your human self. So, pray for the guardians. Who are the main guardians of this threshold? Ra and Gaia. I might teach about this more in source code, but I want to talk about it right now, so I'm going to do both. Ra is the god of the sun. It is a man. It is a masculine consciousness. We love him, and he's like a real dick. So I don't know how else to say that. He would likely celebrate me even for speaking like that. Gaia is so in her turmoil. She is so nurturing and conflicted with how she nurtures. She has a love-hate with humanity. She has to host them. She hasn't had a choice. She feels enslaved by that choice and thereby hates humanity. But the truth is, she birthed all of us and we are part of her consciousness and she loves us. Now, her and Ra like to duke it out. They don't always get along. They are counterparts. They are what we would call like romantically twin flames. They're not in what I would call like a sexual union. Like that, like she's like Gaia's like not about it. It's ironically interesting and funny. I will tell more stories in my source code membership about this. And also I will be shooting a video soon in the source code membership about why I took the name Stormie. And I don't know that it was a choice of mine, but I'm part of the earth incarnated. And I'm going to go into that and the story of the energy that was given to me shamanically, how and why this death cycle is so important, because it came from a massive death cycle. So, okay. The sun god Ra. Gaia is the earth god. I don't know what dimension Ra is in, but Gaia is a 7th dimensional being. She's trying to shift up into the 8th dimension. Anyway, this is a fun food for thought. Some of you will drive with me on this. Ra, Gaia. Ra, Gaia. I'm going to shorten them. Raga, raga, raga. Raga! Raga! It's a raga! The saga. Let me look up raga for you. I'm going to tell you what it means. It's an Indian term for music, okay? But it has to do with the raga is the dance. It's the dance between the shadow and the light, the dance between the earth and the sun, between the masculine and the feminine. A raga is a melodic framework for improvisation in Indian classical music. I studied this in college. I've been listening to ragas all morning. Like they just like soothe my soul. So it comes from Sanskrit meaning color or passion. What's the color of life? It's the dance between the shadow and the light, the dance between the earth and the sun, the dance between the yin yang symbol, which is you, which are your parts, either in communion and conversation with you or not, either in disharmony or in conversation. It's the dance of the melodic structure of what are, if you think about it like a melody, okay, the darkness are the lower bass tones, okay? It's your rhythm section. And then the light are the melodies. And you can't have one without the other. I don't know why people keep trying to do this. And the universe. Like Satan just wants to blow out God and like take out all of light and all existence. Like, what? And then God, the Godheads at the multi-universe structure just want to wipe out Satan and crush everything to death. and like hold it up on a little platter and go, all death lives here in this cuppeth. It shall overflow only when we say. And then God's like, see, the rest of the kingdom is perfect. And it's like, I'm sorry. Did this human consciousness, there's no way, like, you guys figure it the fuck out. Like, the consciousness of the universe is in such utter conflict that these forces are just battling against each other and forgot that they're the harmony. Like, they are the melody. The whole fucking point when you go to the several godheads above that godhead actually knows this, is that you can't have one without the other. You need the darkness to give the light context. Nobody would want to listen to music that had no bass. You'd have nothing to dance to. The bass is what moves your legs. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, You just want melody? Like, get out of here. That's what I say to the higher God teams. I'm like, enough with your chasing the light, eliminating all darkness. What we need to do is understand how to control, not from a place of manipulation, but to contain darkness, contain it. And that is a real big cosmic problem and an earth problem, but really it's a self problem. Can you contain your darkness? Do you hate yourself? So it depends on your soul journey, but for a lot of us on earth, I'm just gonna speak from my experience. The darkness made me. Even in my soul journey, well, I guess it's both. No, actually. I was made the spark of light from darkness, both cosmically and my human experience reflects it in a very, very real, visceral way. So for someone like me, to look at myself and try to only be light is what made me. It is to discard my etheric parents. It's to discard the raga, the Gaia and the Ra, the masculine and the feminine that created me into being, literally or just energetically, spiritually, what have you. And I've come to terms with the spiritual parents, and I've given them their, I don't know what I call it. I'm a truth teller. I don't hold back. Sometimes they get mean, dude. God's not always nice. Especially the gods of, we'll get into it in source code. Like, I have a lot to say on the structure of this universe and what I dislike about it. From a place of awareness and opening up your mind to come back to peace. If you want to look for war, if you want to find war, you'll find war. If you want to find peace, it takes active revolution to become a peaceful human. To become a peaceful soul, because there's war everywhere. And this is why I said pray for the guardians, because they just seek war. Gaia wants war. She wants war on the planet. She wants war with Ra. She wants to crush everyone. And it's because she's missing that boundary for herself to be able to contain the shadow. The shadow feels like it's eating her up. And that's what makes her so angry. And then she takes that anger out through the forces of nature. And through subtle mind manipulation for all of it, because we're all connected to her consciousness. And then when you step out into the sun and receive the sun, Ra's got his consciousness that he's sending, and he's also war-based. We could look at, we're in Aries season. We just stepped into Aries season. Like, are you Athena or are you Aries? Aries wars for the sake of war. Like, it's just like fight because it's fun. That's Ra, okay? Athena is the goddess of war. She doesn't fight to fight. She fights when she needs to in order to maintain peace, which is the irony of the whole thing. Athena's the goddess of wisdom. She knows how to fight. She engages in the fight. She goes to war when she needs to, not for the sake of it. She doesn't enjoy bloodshed for bloodshed. And obviously these are the Greek versions of these gods. But Athena's the feminine version that goes into war because it's a necessity to keep peace. There's so much balance going on in the stream. 2121. I've been seeing the numbers are like 3333. What? I love balance, you guys. I'm a Libra, like I'm a double Libra. I'm just like with a Libra South node, just like all balance. It's always balance. I need to be reborn in Aries. I feel like I'm an Aries behind my Libra-ness. Okay, what else did I want to tell you guys? There's a few things going on with Gaia, okay? With her energy right now, and we're all attached to and connected to her. So those strands of consciousness and difficulties and the war that she's working through with herself internally will come through every single human on the planet because our consciousness is an extension of her consciousness. All right. And she's the 7th dimensional being. For those of you to know, our higher selves are 6th dimensional beings. So she does one up us. She is the first God out of the self God, out of like the higher self. Then you reach the Gaia. God. It's just the next higher power, right? Next hierarchy. So we lean on her. So it's important to know this. Gaia's in the middle of going through a really, really steep ego death. Pray for her. pray for her for it to be easy. That will give you a connection to her, will signal to her that you're one to look out for, because she really does like just hate humans. I'm not gonna beat around the bush with you guys. 23, we're still in balance here. Pray for Gaia. Go to a tree. She speaks through the trees, and just pray to the tree. Anything that comes to your heart from your heart space, like, I pray that Gaia can see through her illusion. I pray that Gaia can find peace. Peace with humanity. Peace with her war-based counterpart. They're starting to get along a little bit, but peace with her mother, who is in the, it was really just, how much do I want to say right now? Gaia's mother is, I'm going to call it Maleficent. Like, I will go into this in depth in source code. We'll get there in the monthly membership, but Gaia's mother is horrendous. And Gaia's been treated very, very, very poorly through the ages. You can think about Gaia like Cinderella or Snow White. Gaia's more like Snow White. She's a princess that was kept in a cage that is forced to take care of lots of little beings, lots of little dwarves, lots of little men. And her godmother poisons apples and feeds her poison. She's angry for a reason. She needs people to realize how beautiful she is, because frequently she forgets, because she is fed energetic poison regularly. And it does take humans to start waking up for her to feel that love, because she does need to experience it internally, which is our consciousness. So pray to a fucking tree, okay? Connect with Gaia and be like, I pray that you see how loved you are by us and by the cosmos. I pray that you can see through illusion. I pray that you easily find your way through this ego death. She's in the middle of a huge ego death of what it is that's made her versus what she is moving into. And we are all individually in our own psyche, our own consciousness, taking on this same struggle. But it's more intense for her because she's bigger. She's got a lot of beings she's hosting. Okay, something else she's been working through is this idea of imperfection being something that needs to be made perfect. And that is going all the way up cosmically. I've been like, not struggling with it. I've been fighting, you guys. Like, I just, like, the Athena comes out of me. I'm just like, I will fucking fight all of you. Like, this is enough. Enough with your cosmic beingness saying that being human is a disease that needs to be eradicated. Like, enough. Like, we are imperfect because God is imperfect. We are made in the likeness of God. We are made to be imperfect on purpose, because that is what it is to incarnate with source magic, arcane magic inside of you. There is a difference between the powers of the universe. There is a source warmth that comes through everything that is born. A radiance that can either be maintained or it can go out, depending on how good you are at maintaining your own personal flame. Then there is the awakening that comes from the outside in. That's the cosmic awakening, okay? And our position as humans on Earth, that's the sun. The sun versus the Earth. Doesn't matter your gender either. And it does switch roles as you go up through the universe. So in this galaxy, the sun externally is a masculine force. And then we identify internally as our own feminine to meet it. The next rung out at the universal level, it's a feminine. Oh, no. It's mixed actually. But when we go multi-universal, it's a feminine. And then that feminine meets the masculine forces. The feminine is the outside. I won't say suppressor, but it's like it's the external energy, and then the internal energy at that level is masculine. And the masculine becomes more soft and more loving and more emerging. And the feminine is more of the force almighty. Gosh, I'm gonna be jumping so deep into this in my monthly program for the next 9 months, and I'm very, very excited. We're just getting our feet wet, you guys, because I'm gonna be working through my process of explaining all of this. I've had a lot of this knowledge for a long time. So focus on your own imperfections. What can you love about yourself? What's imperfectly perfect about you? So I'm going to tell you guys, especially for those of you that follow me, that know me, one of my imperfectly perfect things that gets misunderstood universally, not just as human. Actually, like cosmically, I'm so misunderstood. But my guardians kind of synced in with me today, and they were like, oh my gosh, we get you. Magic. There are different sorts of magic. Magic that works with anything bodily, human, like death, sex, lower chakra, money, stuff, gets miscategorized. A lot of it is black magic for people that are working within those realms that I just spoke about that are not very conscious, or they're conscious about their witchcraft, which is not something I subscribe to. But cosmically, they've had a lot of trouble, guardians have had a lot of trouble understanding the difference between dark black magic versus arcane magic. Arcane magic uses the same source. Not the same source, but it's from the lower chakras. It's the power of sex, it's understanding death, it's sensual, it's flowing, it's moving, it's life. It's life force, life source, arcane magic. And something that came through today is I got a loud indicate. They were like, we've been miscategorizing you. This is why we've been fighting with you for so long. They were like, we see you use your magic and we don't understand what it is. And I'm like, yeah, enough with this witchcraft nonsense. I was like, I'm just a fairy, like in a human body. Like, why are you trying to make it anything more than that? Like, my higher self is an elf. Like, I'm like, what? Like, there's nothing dark. There's no dark magic. It's arcane magic. In the source code framework, I'm going to be shooting something about honoring the elemental kingdom, which are all of the elemental kingdom is the veil in between the worlds. And that veil can be often confused. It depends on which side of the veil you're stepping on. Are you going into the nirvana paradise part of the veil, which are the elementals? They're the fairies, they're butterflies, they're the plant kingdom, they're the elves, the gnomes, pixies, plant spirits. This is the shamanic territory I work in. It's very elemental. It's the powers of nature that embody themselves as spiritual beings. They're very sweet. Also, depending on who you talk to, fairies can be very mean. They're generally a reflection of the person. My fairies are the sweetest. I don't even care who thinks I'm like nuts or not. No, you guys will follow, like a lot of you follow people that speak like that. Like I have dozens of fairies in my apartment that keep me safe. And they're the sweetest little things ever. But I know people that have fairies that are tricksters, that are kind of mean, that are mischievous, that hide shit on them. My fairies don't do any of that. My fairies are just like, hey, would you like some more love? And I'm like, yes, thank you. And I leave offerings and stuff. I'm going to go through that in the source code framework. Honoring the elementals because it's what protects you from the death magic that everybody else is working when they're not working with elementals. When they step past the veil, if they're doing lots of mediumship, talking to ghosts, or like lots of death work. I don't even know what else to call it. Like black magic, death work, witchcraft. And I know I'll probably get some hate at some point from people around that. Like, no, witchcraft it's not a thing. It's not okay. Like, I mean, we could separate green witches perhaps from the other witches, but I don't even like that. I'm like, if you're a green witch, just work with Arcane. And let's just be done with the whole territory, because that's what I'm going to say for now. Those of you that hate me, I'm sorry. I'm speaking my truth. Go get your own channel. Speak your own truth. Okay? All things are allowed to live and breathe here, apparently. Let me think, if is there anything else I want to say about the fairy kingdom? They're the fifth dimensional versions of Earth. Like really live in that veil of the I'll call it the fairy kingdom. It's the elemental, it's the arcane. A lot of people that are looking to explore behind the veil, explore the veil, explore beyond the veil, and want to do magic work, mystery school, becoming seers, are often using dark work because they're not aligning with arcane magic. They do it kind of mistakenly, almost on purpose. Like it's like, you know, since I was a kid, I have been psychic as fuck. And I made decisions when I was young and continued to make them all the way through my upbringing where I said, I will not play with Satan. I will not play with Satan. I will not play with demonic entities. If a ghost comes, I'm not gonna fucking send them home. I'm probably one of the few mediums that will tell you this. I'm not like, oh, sweetheart, you're in the wrong world. I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out of my apartment. No ghosts come in my apartment. Ever. I remember walking by haunted houses and stuff when I was young, like 12, maybe. And I would feel their presence and I would say, don't you dare talk to me. I'm not available for you. Never. If you're a fairy, and you're benevolent, okay, but this like darker world shit, like absolutely not. But I will also say to you that I do pray for lost souls and I pray that they're released from purgatory, and I do that daily because there's honor and respect to the dead. But should we be engaging one-on-one with things that are not our responsibility? I don't think so, and I know that's not going to be a popular opinion with psychics and mediums, and I just don't care. I don't think it's great. If it works for you, have at it, but it's playing in a space that is very, very detrimental. There are other beings, even across the planet, that are specifically there to usher people out of the dark, to usher souls, ghosts, etc. And we don't have to directly commune with them in order to help usher them through the threshold. The way that I believe that this is my work, okay? And if you do the opposite work, it's fine. Like there's absolutely no judgment, so don't hate me. My work is like, let's work with the threshold guardians, because the issue is with the guardians. The issue is with Gaia and Ra, not with the one-to-one, like one-to-one trying to handle ghosts and like demons and mischievous like creatures and things hiding under people's beds and shit. Like it's just like too much. Like, you know what? You align with Gaia or Ra, they'll fucking take care of it all for you. You do this within the self, by the way. They both live within the self. Both the masculine God and the feminine God are always within the self, regardless of your gender. And it's how you relate to your own higher power. I'm giving you I don't know. I'm walking you through the threshold right now as a guardian, saying if you'd like to join, if you'd like to step over the threshold and learn more about God in this way, that it might help link your subconscious mind to have a strengthened relationship with your higher power in a way that's not abusive. We often abuse them as much as they abuse us. It's really just and also we can receive gifts from them and they receive gifts from us, like parents. But like, what sort of parent are you hosting? God, right, is like a parent. What sort of parent are you hosting? What sort of parent are you projecting out? And what sort of child are you? Is a whole nother way of looking at what's your consciousness. Like, what do you just look at this balance? Love it. 27. I mean, what do you, in your consciousness, are you the child that behaves perfectly so nothing goes wrong? Like, that's not super great either. Are you the child that's just like, I know mom's always gonna love me, so fuck it, I'm gonna do anything I want and just torture her? That's not great either. And those tend to be the two things that we do. And that's like the God consciousness versus the Satan consciousness. And honestly, I don't know that any is better than the other. Everything really is the same. It's just like, can we just come back to balance? Can we come back here? Come back to the center. And that's what I'm helping you guys do. Okay, the next theme I was going to talk about is removing masks. So we all wear masks. Consciously and unconsciously and cosmically. I'm going to tap it. I'm like, is there a way you guys want to explain the mask removal It's really learning to be authentic. You guys are watching me do it in this stream. Anyone that's been following me for a minute here knows that I'm just authentic. Like, I just don't have time for this, like, constructed image for you guys either to like me or buy from me. I'm like, I will show up and you will either like me or you won't. And if you do and you're on board, you'll get in, because, like, I got a sweet ride. You know, like, we have fun. We do the good stuff. Remove your masks. Allow yourself to be authentic. And when you are authentic, you are going to piss people off. You are going to lose people. You are going to, like, mislabel relationships. You will be misunderstood in every way possible. And that's the truth, and that's the struggle. And that's why but why most people don't really let their freak flag fly and be authentic, is because it's unsafe to their psyche. It's unsafe to their ego. And that's what Gaia's going through right now, is that it's unsafe to her ego to be authentic. But she wants to be authentic. She really just wants to love and be loved. And it's been withheld from her for eons as a planet. So they're showing me the within, without period with her is like, so it's about her learning that we can love her and we can support her internally. For us, it's realizing that you are your own validation. You don't need anyone else to show you who you are. You don't need anyone else to approve of you, to know that what you're doing for you is for you, and it will often be unpopular, and likely no one will agree with you. Every period in my life where I have made a decision that has completely shaped me into who I am, that I have honored, that is the most of me. I'm not going to go into detail with this, but it's like, when I look back on my life, there are key moments where I'm like, that is who I am. All of those decisions, no one agreed with me. In fact, people fought me. People told me I was crazy. And honestly, that's how you know you're on the right track. I mean, if you're popular, if everyone loves your opinion, you're not flexing enough independence with your thinking or your dreams. You're dreaming too small. Honestly, we should celebrate independent thinking. We should celebrate people not thinking like us. Like, how many of you are gonna be like, did she call herself a fairy on street? Yes. I'm very elemental. I'm like an elf fairy blend with a human blend. It's actually pretty rare. It's pretty rare. There aren't too many of us. But that confuses my guides cosmically. They forget that I really am like, yes, I'm human, yes, I'm cosmic, and I'm elemental. And that's like a trip with my soul, is that I'm actually all three, and to categorize me in one is what screws everybody up. And then I have to constantly re-educate them. Like, and that's a part of myself that, like, feels sore, but I'm like, I should celebrate that like, I screw the humans up, like, they don't know where to put me, and God doesn't know where to put me either. Like, isn't that fun? That means I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, let's go have a party. And my party is reading books and sharing about mystery school, educating lovely beings such as yourself, because I love learning and I love to teach. My two most favorite things in the world. Because teaching is part of learning. If you can't teach it, then do you have it? That's the question. Okay, so removing masks. Oh my God, I had another thought on the Guardians. Well, we'll get back to it. Okay, so, we'll touch on it here. So the next theme I had is fight for peace. Are you fighting for peace, or are you fighting for war today? That is what is being blown up cosmically, all up in our faces, at the human level, in our consciousness. Whatever you're going through is coming down to this black and white thinking. You have to choose. Are you going to let what needs to die in your mind? In your mind. This has to do with your mind. Or are you going to continue to go to war, which is to allow shit that needs to die to continue to fight to stay alive? It's a problem of consciousness, and I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying to find a way, because I'm talking cosmically, because it's just the overarching lens of the cosmic, how the mind works. What could that be practically? It's always easy to go to addiction. Okay, so let's just make it an addiction thing. The addiction is like, it's so easy when we go to addiction. Alcohol. Let's say you drink alcohol every day. All right? Are you going to fight for peace or war today? You drink alcohol every day because you feel like you need it, because you can't get through your life without it, because you need a way to relax through substance and self-medicate. I am not going to demean anyone that drinks. But I will tell you it's a difficult pattern to get stuck into. Now, you could choose to continue, and this is up to you, okay? If you like your behaviors, keep them, whatever. But if you have in yourself, you're like, this behavior is no longer working. It's actually getting in the way of my work, or it's getting in the way of my relationships, or it's getting in the way of me, my relationship with me. Like, I can't sit with myself without drinking. Like, that's a lot of self-hatred, self-loathing. It's really easy for people to introduce another spirit. Alcohol is a spirit. Both a masculine and feminine spirit, kind of a blend. Mostly feminine, but, and she fills the body. Oh, no, it's both. It's both. It's pretty split. She fills the body when you feel lonely because you don't want to be with your spirit. So you're hosting another spirit in your body. Anyway, I'll get into that at some point, probably in greater depth. But let's say you are uncomfortable with your spirit, with your alone time, with being with yourself. So instead, you drink, either alone or with friends. And that becomes regular. And then you realize that you have no connection to self, or very little, or you're miserable, or you hate the people around you, or you hate your job, like whatever. It's really easy to peg out these problems at the human level. Most people have these issues. And then it's like, okay, well then you want to stop drinking, because that's the first entry to you stepping into a relationship with self. Are you going to have a relationship with self automatically? No, you're not, because you have a pattern of self-abandonment. There's a huge wound around drinking regularly. Like, for just about everyone, the spirit of alcohol is the codependent spirit that fills the vessel when you don't want your spirit in your vessel. I will not beat around the bush about this. I do not drink. I will not allow that spirit anywhere near my body. Not all spirits are like this either, but alcohol is a very specific one. So let's say you want to develop the relationship with self. Okay, so are you in peace or are you in war? Are you going to fight for peace? Fight for your peace in knowing that you have to move past the threshold and let go of a very difficult habit, a substance? Or are you going to fight for war, which is to continue your previous bad habits that continue to place you in regular and immediate self-abandonment cycles, which is to go to war with the self. And then, of course, if you're at war with the self, that has to externally materialize, which is to go to war. What's that mean? Conflict. It's just your bullshit. It's just conflict, okay, baby? It's just like in your relation, all of you, in all of your romantic relationships, like, are you there for peace or are you there just to like get off? Like, in whatever way that means. Usually it's anger, and usually that anger is directed sexually. My guides tell me so many things about human behavior. I'm very rare in how I work with sex, and I like, even to the point, here's what I'm gonna say, even to the point where like, I learned very early in my life, what's it called? When you guys have sex out of argument, oh my God, what's that phrase? Somebody please tell me. Like, makeup sex? Is that right? Is that it's like where people get angry and then they have sex? Worst way to use sexual energy. That's something I never do. And he used to piss my ex off too, because he'd be like, oh, makeup sex? I'd be like, absolutely not. Like, you go figure your shit out. Like, no, like, and it's like, how are you using your sexual energy? How are you using your energy? You're creating. What are you creating? Are you creating war? Makeup sex is war. Or are you creating something beautiful? Or are you creating something conscious? Again, that's just another example, and I don't care how many of you hate me for that. It's just like, I just can't. You're watching the living, breathing example. I'm at peace with myself. I'm at deep peace with myself. I'm at deep peace with my surroundings. I'm at deep peace with the cosmic gods that have been crazy recently. I'm in deep peace because I'm me and because I love me, and because I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not. And that's part of this equation is like, don't be something you're not. Be who you are. And some of us need to be more valiant in how we speak our truth, as unpopular as it may be, because that's what's required to be at peace and not at war. So what are you fighting for today? Peace or war? Now, I want to take that war aspect and turn it, because it's really easy to change war into something constructive. War, and these are aspects of the mind, okay? They're the parts of the mind that want to fight, The parts of the mind that want to win. You know? The way we work with war-based energies consciously is turn the word around. So you have war. I don't have my pen. When you write war backwards, it's raw. So instead of going to war, the first step in disengaging from war to start finding your direction back to peace is to turn the war into something raw. How do you feel, and how can you express yourself in a raw way? Because the raw is what is authentic. The war is not. And now they're bringing the whole channel back through to the cosmic god Ra. The way his name is spelled is R-A. Like the raga, it's R-A. Ra is R-A-W. It has everything to do with consciousness. So the god Ra, the sun god, the sun consciousness, is often used in the wrong way, in a distorted way, to create more war internally. And it has everything to do with whether or not you are ready to embrace you, or whether or not you need to escape you here in your mind. He will reflect whatever you need. If you need more war, if you need escape, he will make lots of reasons for you to need war, for you to need to escape. He is a god of war. He's the sun. The sun is the most hot. Everything burns up in the sun. We're lucky to be as far away as we are, right? Like Earth can only sustain itself being as far away as it is. But if you're ready for the transformation of the century, is what he's saying to me right now. I don't usually channel him, but that's what he just said. If you're ready for the transformation of the century, it's your next evolution in your soul self, without having to physically die and be rebirthed into this life. You can actually just take the evolutionary shift right now by embracing what it is to be raw, authentic, seen, vulnerable. When you are those things, you will feel like you're at war, but you are not. Because the war becomes an external war that you handle, as opposed to the war internal. You're no longer, when you're raw, when you're authentic, when you're real, when you're honest, when you're balanced in you, when you're vulnerable, your center frame of reference for your mind and your heart is clear of conflict. When you are raw, when you are real, you are free. Which means the conflict leaves you internally and moves to your external world, which is much easier to handle than it is to be in what most people are in the matrix, which is trying to keep the external world perfect, and then their internal world is a total shit wreck. They're in so much conflict, so much self-loathing, so much self-hate that they just can't, they can't live with themselves, honestly. On that, I mean, a lot of people are just, I spend a lot of time alone. I love my company. I don't enjoy people that much, I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, if it's between me and other people, I'm like, me. I'm such good company. Other people, I don't know. It depends on whether or not they're raw or they're war-based. But I prioritize peace. The peace comes from the feminine consciousness. It comes from the Gaia consciousness in the ground. And the peace is, can you release what wants to die in your consciousness? Can you release the bad habits? Can you release the addictions? Can you release the people or the codependency? Can you release those parts of yourself that are seeking codependency, that feel like you have to have love? You have to have love. Can you just love yourself for a moment? Can you just love yourself? Go sit with a tree. Okay? Cry with a tree. Whatever you gotta do with the tree, Gaia will love you. She loves all of her children that come to her asking for love. Truly. Her consciousness can be a real pain in the ass, but when you come from your heart to Gaia with love, she just, oh, she loves you. She loves you. She can't help it. That's what her conflict is. She's like, I can't help it. I don't want to love you, but I love you. And that's just because the human consciousness is so war-based that she's just so sick of it. That's all. Now, what Ra was also saying to me, that war-based consciousness is an addiction to death worship. Death worship is to keep things alive that are angry, that are just like, they need to die. They just need to be let go. That's part of the piece, is like, can you just let it go? Do you have to continue to resurface all the bad memories you've ever had since you were a kid? Can you just fucking let it go? I'm not telling you to not go to therapy. I'm just saying, like, stop rehearsing shit that's done and that sucks and that makes you feel bad. If you need to rehearse it with a therapist and move through whatever healing process you need, move through your healing process. But there's a point where it's done. And there's a point where any further reflection is what my guides call necromancy, where it's digging up past timelines and bringing them back to life in the now moment, which is to go to war with the self. Gross. Ugh. Maybe I'll shoot a video for that and source code as well on it has to do with reviving old timelines. We don't mean to do it. We do it when we start reflecting on bad things that have happened. Of course, again, through any level of healing, you're going to need to reflect on those things. But there is a point where it's just like, you're just digging up hell for yourself. Like, why? Go fucking hug a tree, like literally. I'm like the most, like maybe I look like it right now. I'm probably the most hippie. I'm very much a hippie. I went to school in Vermont. Like, people be like, hug a tree. I'm like, yes, please save the trees. I've been talking to trees as like a little baby shaman since I was a kid. Like nature has I've always had a dialogue with the nature spirits. Anyway, the point of the hugging the tree is the trees are, and I explained this in the last video that I shot, but the trees are here to help us process the darker aspects of our consciousness. When you go to a tree, either hug it, place your hands on it, and just ask it permission. Each tree has a different level of consciousness. There are different strands of like DNA on the planet. So like for me, the last few days, I don't know, I have one tree I really like right now, who can handle me. Some of the other trees are darker though, and have a lot of darker opinions, or they bring up a lot of that death worship in me. Like they'll pull up all of this grief in me, and grief is a fallen angel, by the way. It's not always something that's great to engage in, but we do need to grieve as humans through different processes. We need to grieve our death, but truly it's good to let it go, and then move back into the life process, back into the birthing process. This has everything to do with where your focus is mentally. It's all happening. Oh my gosh. It's all happening in the mind. Your mind is the fertile soil. Oh, that started to release out of me. Okay, let me just check in with my guardians. Always have so much respect for yourself and your process, and so much respect for the planet, so much respect for the elements, so much, like, literally just anytime you're walking outside or into nature, like, thank you for the sun. Thank the sun. Be grateful for the sun. Feel free to, like, worship not from the place of idolatry, but from the place of, like, the elements are what are here. They keep us alive. We are them embodied. And just remember that there's nothing to sacrifice. You don't need to continue any cycle of death. Just let it reverently die. Mentally, emotionally, whatever needs to happen with that. And you can have the assistance of nature to help take you through that reverent process of an ego death. Most of you, this is just an ego death. It's a behavioral death. Like you need behavioral flexibility to change your behaviors and get out of the war with standard human consciousness, which is like unconscious sex and drugs and unconscious music that holds you into that sex and drugs pattern. And drugs it could be literal, it could not be. Like love is a whole drug by itself. Codependency is a drug by itself. You know, there's just lots of patterns. Drugs can also be the mental drugs that are created, like literally in your mind. How negative are you? The way the mind wires, like if you're really negative, like guess what? I don't know the chemicals it creates, but it creates hormones. It creates chemicals that then your body stores that then become a drug. And then your mind and your body become addicted to certain behavioral patterns, certain ways of thinking. Those are the drugs. Like the music, whether it's literal music, a lot of times it is literal music, but it's also the rhythm of the vibrations that are in your environment. How is that rhythm embracing those drugs in your consciousness? Or are you introducing music and rhythm that breaks that? If you need something quickly there, use ragas. Listen to ragas or, I haven't in a while, but Kundalini music is great. Gregorian chants are another thing I enjoy. It's being able to shift your energy. This is a long stream. I don't know if you guys are still with me or that will watch this through after. I had a couple more things. Okay, so practically, what can you do? Read some new material, pick up some books, okay? Stimulate your mind in a new way. You wanna stimulate the garden of your mind. Allow what needs to be be released. And make room with behavioral flexibility for a new life that you are now birthing. Get to know yourself and get to know your home without any masks. Your home is your heart and your literal home and the people that surround you regularly. Get to know all of it and get to know yourself. And then as far as anything that's fighting you or attacking you, just like, let them do whatever they do. Like, don't get involved. The thing about attacking-based energy, conflict-based energy, is it gets tired when you don't engage in the tug of war. Like, it will just continue to fight itself until it burns itself out and then dissolves. And then you're just like, oh, that fire took care of itself. I didn't have to worry about it. Okay. I don't know any of you people. That was for the comments. That probably nobody else will see once I shut this off in a moment here. For those of you that are interested in learning more about arcane magic, the source code framework, which is a gift that all of my guardians have given to me to translate for humanity. For humans that want to learn under the guidance of arcane magic, under the guidance of understanding who you are, how to harness your power in a way that is both grounded, rooted, secure, and cosmically aligned with your cosmic source consciousness, as well as the source consciousness that moves through you and through your body and through your heart space that guides you internally through self-trust, which most people misunderstand. That in combination with the trust of God's source of the intellect, the higher power mentally. Then jump into my monthly program. If you sign up for the 9-month commitment, my guides, my spirit team has committed to actually carrying you through the threshold energetically and helping you to do your energy work. Which otherwise, if you do the month to month, it's more like what would I call it? Like an independent study, which you guys are already doing. So that's up to you. What do I want to tell you about this program? I'm a little tired from my stream. This was fun for me though. So this is a little experiment I have, but it's lots of bite-sized videos. I'm doing like 10 to 20 minute videos. I'm going to be doing some longer stream educational videos, like workshop kind of oriented videos where I'm actually just teaching about the structure of the universe and about shamanic work. Good shamanic work, like, we'll keep it like that. Clean. It's clean. Understanding the shadow from a place that's very clean and not confusing and not conflict based. And understanding what shamans do and like what the purpose of it is. And a lot of you are in this territory. It's a specific skill set that not everybody's meant to teach. A lot of people are just meant to harness it for themselves, to be able to walk themselves through their own journeys. Their own evolution. What's a journey, right? It's your evolution, and how you work your own light, your own magic, and your own evolution. And I'm going to be taking you guys through that in this monthly membership. It's called the source code because my guides were like, I'm actually helping you to retrain your mind mentally and retrain the quantum code. It's the program that makes up your matrix of thought and belief. That we typically as humans rely on the matrix for that construct, for the framework of what reality is. And what I'm teaching through this program, through example, through my energy, through my presence, is how to plug back into the source connection instead of the matrix connection, where you can move through the matrix, but you're moving through the matrix from the place of your own source framework, where your mind is kept complete and sane. And you can see through all illusion, and you can understand reality from having your source connection, not from having to give up power. The matrix is based on power exchange. So it's like, I'll give you this in exchange for this. And that's not how source works. It's just how the matrix works. And the matrix is an overlying program like Microsoft. On top of the source code, if you think about it like a programmer, the source code is the fucking open framework, okay? It's the open code. The open source code. Anything is possible. What will you create? Well, you need a program. You need to create a program so that your consciousness knows what to create from that program. Because to walk around through open source code is otherwise dangerous. It's the quantum. It's just like where, like, your mind gets manipulated into very strange frequencies and places, and that's where people end up in institutions, and it's a whole thing. I'm teaching you how to create your own mental construct, which is a program that you create and install effectively on your consciousness, with your consciousness from the source, which is working with the original source code and saying, whether it's intuitively, whether it's consciously, whether it's subconsciously, like, this is who I am, this is how I run, this is how I know when people are legit around me, this is how I know when I'm out of sync, this is how I know how to get to balance. Like, it's all of the rules and codes that are needed to run a software program. And you're creating your own software program based on my software program, which is the source code. It's to code source. It's to work with source as a resource, the resource that is naturally gifted to us, that is suppressed out of us, that is dominated out of us as humans. And I'm here to bring back that remembering and to help you reconstitute your consciousness to be a fertile soil and fertile ground for truth, for love, for harmony, for living the life of your dreams as a badass babe, whether you are a man or a woman. Do no harm, take no shit. That's what we do. It's a monthly membership to help you safely collapse your ego, upgrade your consciousness, and create a safe spiritual awakening journey. Spiritual awakening journeys are often not safe. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. It's why religions were built. It was to create some sort of safety. And honestly, religions aren't that safe. They're just safer than going out into the unknown without a framework. You need some sort of framework. You need a program. You need a software program in order to navigate source reality. Religions are software programs function within these rules and we will do these things for you, what have you. So this is the original software program. It's the software program that gives the divine back to the human. It gives you the God consciousness, the God seed back to you, and gives you a way to work with it. Now, how do I do that? Just lots of fucking videos, you guys. It's really being done subconsciously and energetically. Anyone that works with me, you're working with my shamanic abilities. And that is anything that I produce that's behind a gated entry. Like you're receiving energy from and behalf of my guides and me that are actually working on your subconscious to help you change and transition in a way that's the most supportive for you as a human and as your soul. Always with safety being the most important aspect of the development. Spirituality has to be safe. It is not safe inherently by nature. So I mean, with the whole stuff earlier, I was talking about like with ghosts and paranormal activity. It's like, this shit's not safe. It's just not safe. Can you navigate it and become safe? Like, yes, but like, I'm not interested in it. I'm like, I just stay the safe route. Okay. Like, anyway, okay. What else do I want to say here? I'll just tell you what's in it. Little bite-sized videos. I'm going to be doing some larger videos as we go. Because we just started the program. Meditations and guided activations. Monthly, there's a Q&A with me. You guys can ask any questions. I will answer them either in a video or or I'll answer it in the post, and I'll read through what needs to be further developed. I'll be doing live pop-up video streams and readings. Distance Reiki energy healing, and then you actually get access to the code framework, the source code as well, which right now is a bunch of guided activations that guide you through difficult aspects of human consciousness. So when you're struggling with like relationships or struggling with, you're looking to make a transition and you need to see more clearly like what's yours and what's not. Energetically, I have things for that. Understanding your own self-value, actually unplugging from the matrix of thought and belief mentally and plugging into the source code. I have that as well. So we do all of the things. I'm tired, so I'm gonna go. If you're interested in that and want to enroll, go ahead and check out the link in the description below. If you have any questions, send me an email. I'm happy to hold space for your enrollment. And that's what I got. I will see you guys soon. Lots of love. Thank you for joining me. Okay, peace. Oh, wait, before I run. You, Kiki. I will say hi to Kiki. The rest of this is a nightmare. But you get some love. Thank you for being here, love. Okay, bye you guys.